Welcome back to this section on the spirit and freedom from anxiety. Today we're going to talk about the observations coping strategy. It's 12 steps to help you maintain your freedom over fear and anxiety. I believe that as you go through these 12 steps, you're going to begin to see even more acceleration in your breakthrough over fear and anxiety as you continue to work on yourself both in body, in mind, and in spirit. It's not just a one-time thing that you have to do. You have to continue to maintain your progress. Even for me, I will sometimes experience some irrational feelings of fear or anxiety that will come up. It doesn't come up that often, but when it does, I have the right tools to deal with the job. And that's what this tool will do for observations. It will help you make this into a lifestyle. So, observations is an acronym that's commonly used in the trauma-informed practice field. This is a field of science that helps us understand trauma and how to have good workplaces, school situations, even good mental health services that address the trauma that people have experienced. And trauma often has a connection to anxiety. We've talked about this in other videos, but there is a link. I'm not going to refer to that here, but I'm going to use this tool that's traditionally used in that field to modify it to address our concerns around maintaining breakthrough in fear and anxiety. So O stands for observe. What I want you to do is just take a moment to observe what's happening in your body when fear and anxiety may rise up again. Pay attention to it. What's it doing in your body? How do you feel it in terms of being cold or being warm or to be numb? Does it create a sense of anxiety or butterflies stirring up in your stomach? Or are you feeling tension in your neck or heat in your face? Just observe what's going on and what is triggering you. You don't have to do anything about this feeling right now. You just want to observe it. From there, you want to go to B, which is breathing. And this is the key to maintaining all the calm states that you need to do in your central nervous system. You know, we're looking at this holistically, so we're looking at it from body, mind, and spirit. And we can't often do the interventions we need to do in mind and spirit until we've calmed the body down. We have that inner fight or flight mechanism that wants to kick off, and we have to get that down to a homeostasis or a balanced state so that our interventions about our thoughts and our spirit can actually stick. Breathing is the simple way to do this. You can do it just with a simple counting from 1 to 10, the odd numbers being the inhale and the even numbers being the exhale, just a 1 and 2, 3 and 4. So as you're observing, you are also breathing and you're recognizing what sensations are coming up in your body, and you're beginning to play detective. That's item S under situation. This is where you begin to notice and recognize these responses that are going on inside of you. You begin to remind yourself that while these are feelings and they can be uncomfortable, like in a panic attack, they're not dangerous and they're going to pass soon. You keep becoming aware of the situation that's occurring. And as you name these things, you can then tame these feelings that are in your body. This is something that's commonly used in narrative therapy called externalization. And it's sort of I see you anxiety or I see you fear, and I'm not going to be tricked or controlled by you any longer. I know it sounds silly, but when you externalize the problems and you name them, you actually can have greater control and power over them. E stands for emotions. It's really important as you are breathing and observing and you're understanding the situation you're in that you recognize that your emotions come and go. That's the beauty of all of these tools, is that emotions are not permanent. They come on you suddenly and then they leave suddenly. They come up based on a trigger or a circumstance or a situation, and then they go. They don't stay around forever. They do if you try to fight the emotions. It's like standing in the middle of a river and trying to push the river the other direction. It's just not going to happen. You have to redirect by cutting a new groove and direct the water a different direction. But you're not going to fight that water and push it back. And emotions, you can't push them back. They're going to come and they're going to go. And that can be very important for us to recognize this is going to pass. I don't have to continue to deal with this. After that is R. We recognize that this situation does not define who you are. You are not your anxiety. Another narrative tool in the clinical field says we don't focus on the person as a problem, we focus on the problem as the problem. That's very important. You are not a fearful person. You are not an anxious person. The problem is fear and anxiety, and you are working against that problem, and you are working with the tools that you have gained in this series to let this emotion pass, to maintain your breakthrough, to address head-on the feelings of fear and anxiety when they start to pop up and not let them become wild and out of control. V stands for validate. We want to validate our experience and not trivialize it. Even though we know that emotions are going to come and go, it's a serious problem. It has been a serious problem, and it will continue to be a serious problem, but not one that defines who you are. By saying that, we also recognize that we're going to take this very seriously and not just say, okay, we got breakthrough, we've got some more productivity, we broke through some creativity at work, we've been able now to socialize and hang out with other people, we're not experiencing panic attacks and feeling like we're going to die. So now we're just going to ignore it and never attend to ourselves ever again. No, you have to validate that this is a real problem and it's starting to pop up again if it is, and then you know how to deal with it, but you want to take it very seriously. Sometimes you need a little tuning up. Sometimes you need to go back and reread some notes. You need to go back and re-explore some of the things that you've done before. You begin to realize that I'm not taking good care of myself. I'm not eating right. I'm drinking too much. I'm not exercising. I'm isolating. And you got to be in again to validate, okay, this is a problem. I'm not going to let it define me again, but I am going to take care of it. So once you have validated that, then you can go on to A, which is asking for help. Shame can be a big partner to anxiety and fear because it's embarrassing. And so we begin to feel like, we've done something terrible, we have embarrassed ourselves, and we're bad people, no one wants to hang out with us. We start thinking really negatively. It's really important that you take action against that and you say, I'm going to ask for help. So you go back and call your therapist. You go back and watch and read the material here on the freedom from anxiety. You go back and talk to the people that are supportive and say, hey, this is coming up in my life again. I've been struggling with this again. I've been dealing with this issue once more, and I need some help. And so you begin to address it and you ask for some help. T stands for this, or this too shall pass. We've been talking about this in many different ways, but it's a great way to think about fear and anxiety, and it prevents you from having this negative, irrational thoughts that you're a victim, that you're powerless. Change wants to happen. Let change happen. Let those emotions go. You don't have to get in the way of all those feelings and believe that you're going to be stuck in this feeling forever. It's fun to tell anxiety, I know you're not staying very long, so you might as well just keep on moving, and in the meantime, I'm going to go live my life. I hope by now you're recognizing that you are strong. And that's the next acronym, which is I. By stating, I can handle my anxiety. I am master of my anxiety, and my anxiety is not master of me. This sets us up for understanding our identity. That could be another use of the word I. But you begin to actualize this by using this attitude of I can handle my anxiety and that I am strong and I have the right tools and I know the right attitude and I can re-engage my practices and talk to my support systems to overcome anything that fear or anxiety wants to throw at me. By doing this, you will have an open mind. You'll be open to new hopes, new possibilities, new ideas, new thoughts, new research. Continuously be reading, be looking on YouTube, be continuing to talk to other people, come back here and get more information, talk to the online support groups that we've established for you. Don't stop or rest on the fact that I've overcome that, I don't have to work on it anymore, and even if I'm maintaining my practices, maybe the practices that I've learned are not sufficient now. I need something else, I need something new. Be open to new ideas and be open to new hopes, be open to new possibilities. Be looking for them all the time in your environment and you will find them. It's a law of attraction, if you will. This will bring new hope to helping you manage your anxiety and maintaining your breakthrough. You want to keep a record through journaling, notes, and books that will name the tools that have helped you. If you can go back and recount what has worked in the past, it will give you some confidence to continue working forward when you're dealing with anxiety or fear in the present. If fear and anxiety does pop up, you're ready for them. You have all the tools. Just go back and open those journals, go back and look at those notes, go watch these videos and say, oh yeah, that's what I need to be doing. I need to be engaging in a safe place. I need to be calming down my brain through breathing. I need to be able to, and you can deal with these ants that are coming up and destroying my picnic, my life. And you can deal with those negative thoughts again. S stands for spirit. Now this is the one place that I have varied from the traditional observations acronym. Traditionally, when you're looking at a trauma field, S stands for a survivor, because there are many people who have been survivor, and that's a really important identity to recognize that I have been a survivor of domestic abuse, child abuse, other type of traumatic situations in life, and that will help you give the courage to move forward. But here, because I want to help this move to an even higher level in this section on spirit for freedom from anxiety, is I want to be able to talk about S as spirit, not just survivor, but also that you are spirit. Your mind, your body, and you are spirit. That's also important when it comes to looking at identity, because who we are is, we're not just alone in this process. We have God or a higher power who also supports us. We have a family of other people that are within our own faith and our churches, our denominations, our synagogues, our organizations that will help us support through this. We're not alone. And that's really important when it comes to dealing with any type of issue or problem in life, but in particular when dealing with fear and anxiety. One of my favorite verses in the Bible is 2 Timothy 1:7. It says, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind." I like to have a sound mind. I'm sure you do too. There's many times when I felt like I haven't. Other translations will refer to sound mind as sound judgment or even self-discipline. These are equally encouraging interpretations of this verse, and also on how to observe and maintain our freedom. We have to have sound judgment to recognize, validate, and keep our open mind about anxiety. We also have to have self-discipline to breathe, to name, and to ask for help. The Freedom from Anxiety program uses spirit to reference our identity that trumps all of our experiences and circumstances. Knowing that you are a child of God and that God is good is essential to this program, in my opinion. I believe that in order to see our emotional and behavioral issues from a higher perspective, we have to begin to have an ongoing relationship with God. We need to have a sense of ourselves as a spirit. And when we have this higher perspective, we realize that we're not going to be weighed down by fear. We're not given a spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind. There's a great story in the Bible about a man named Nehemiah who wanted to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem. He got permission to do so, but it wasn't an easy task. It was a lot of work, and all the neighboring kingdoms and their armies didn't want to see this happen. And so they threatened to come and attack him and kill him and stop this rebuilding. So when his own people came up to Nehemiah and said, hey, these armies are going to attack us, we need to go hide inside the temple and protect ourselves. Well, this is kind of the reaction that we have too, right? When we feel something that's difficult, like giving a presentation at work, or we have to go socialize, or we have to deal with the overwhelming sense of anxiety in the morning about all the tasks that we have to get done in the day, or we're beginning to feel overcome by a difficult circumstance in our life, and then we feel a panic attack start to come back up again. When we feel the lump in our throat rise up, or the butterflies in our stomach, or the tension in our bodies, we have to stop and say, hey, I know who I am. And I'm not going to be controlled by my circumstances or my situation, despite how badly I feel, how overwhelmed I feel, how panicky I feel right now. Nehemiah, in this example, told the person who would come up to him and who was afraid, I'm sure Nehemiah was afraid too, but he said, hey, Am I the kind of man that would go run away and hide? Nehemiah knew who he was. He says, I'm not going to act on this feeling because I know who I am. You can have feelings of fear and anxiety pop back up. If they come back up, that doesn't mean that everything you've done didn't work or that you're going to go right back into that dark place that you were in before. It simply means that it's fear and anxiety. The world is full of it, and it comes up, it generates it, it throws it on you. You know, it's kind of like you're standing on the side of the curb and a car rushes by and splashes water and mud on you. You didn't cause that mud to be on you, but it is on you, and you can clean it off. You know how to do it. It's annoying, but it happens. And fear and anxiety happens in the same way. You have to remind yourself that I'm not the kind of person to run away and hide in fear. I have the character, I have the understanding, and I have the tools to observe and maintain my healing. So as you work to maintain your healing from fear and anxiety, remember who you are. You are not a man or woman who will run and hide. You have and you will find your breakthrough to freedom. Stay true to who you know you are and declare that you will finish this task and you will see it to the end so that you will have breakthrough for the remainder of your life.